From the KOFI News Team, this is KOFI's Flathead News Weekly, covering the week's top headlines from Kalispell to Columbia Falls, Whitefish to Big Fork, and across northwest Montana.
A bump in Flathead County's credit rating resulted in lower than expected property tax increases to cover the $95 million in bonds needed for the new county jail. Hannah Shields reports in the Daily Interlake that as part of the bond financing process, Flathead County's underlying credit rating from S&P Global improved from AA to AA+ on sustained financial strength and an expanding economy. As a result, the bonds were sold at a lower interest rate, declining from 4.33% to 3.83%. Projected property taxes to pay off the bonds over the next 20 years are now expected to come in at $9.98 per $100,000 of assessed value, down from $11.13. Bonds were sold within an hour, April 14th, in $5,000 increments through D.A. Davidson to investors and bankers in Montana and around the country. County officials said demand for the bonds was strong, with about 50 institutional investors and additional individual investors participating in the offering. Voters approved a $105 million bond request in November to fund construction of the county's new jail on Snowline Lane in South Kalispell. The remaining $10 million in unissued bonds will be saved for pending project costs as needed. With financial backing officially secured, a groundbreaking for the new jail is planned in June. Flathead County hopes to hire temporary 911 dispatchers ahead of the summer tourist season. Flathead County's sole dispatching service has struggled to hire and retain 911 dispatchers since the pandemic, and summer has proved to be a strenuous time on its limited staff. As Hannah Shields reports in the Daily Interlake, 7 out of the 22 dispatcher spots were vacant as of April 15th, not including part-time positions. The 911 Dispatchers Union submitted a memorandum of agreement to the Flathead County Commissioners in March to contract temporary 911 dispatchers, to which commissioners gave their unanimous support. Last summer, the Flathead Emergency Communication Center received more than 35,000 calls, with nearly 9,700 of them emergency 911 calls. Columbia Falls teenager Hazel Alexander is making great strides on her road to recovery after being seriously injured in a car crash in Columbia Heights by a car thief fleeing the law back on January 9th. Chris Peterson reports in the Hungry Horse News that 16-year-old Hazel suffered a broken arm and jaw and a shattered pelvis, as well as a brain injury and a ruptured spleen that required removal. The star of the Columbia Falls Wildcat cross-country team is walking again and hopes to compete a year from now in her senior season, and she has resumed her advanced placement academic studies, although math is sometimes a challenge that it never used to be. Hazel still aspires to attending the U.S. Naval Academy and a hitch in the U.S. Marines. A federal appeals court has ruled that Montana's stream protection law does not apply to private land inside the boundaries of Glacier National Park. John and Stacy Ambler of San Diego can now move forward with plans to build a home along McDonald Creek outside of Apgar. In a decision filed April 17th, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals based in San Francisco sided with the Amblers, owners of a private inholding along the creek, and affirming a lower court ruling that the Flathead Conservation District cannot enforce the Montana Natural Stream Bed and Land Preservation Act of 1975 on that property. The ruling dealt losses to both the Flathead Conservation District and Friends of Montana Streams and Rivers. The court's reasoning hinged on a pair of historic statutes, a 1911 Montana law in which the state ceded jurisdiction over land inside Glacier Park to the federal government, and a 1914 federal act in which the United States accepted that cession. The Flathead National Forest has given up on an ambitious landscape restoration plan for the Swan Valley. First proposed in 2018, the nearly 175,000-acre Mid-Swan Landscape Restoration and Wildland Urban Interface Project was withdrawn last month. Deputy Forest Supervisor Tammy McKenzie said the project ran into major hurdles when crews surveyed some of the proposed units and found large discrepancies between preliminary data gathered by remote sensing technology and on-the-ground conditions. The available timber volume production had been overestimated by more than 50%, and more than half of the treatments proposed in the 2021 draft decision notice could not be implemented. The big project was scrapped in favor of several smaller forestry projects, which McKenzie said would be introduced over the next 5 years. The Flathead National Forest has already posted a notice for the Piper Creek project, which includes 1,415 acres of commercial timber treatments and 892 acres of non-commercial treatments between the Swan River and the Mission Mountains Wilderness.
That's your Week in Review from the KOFI News Team. Stay connected with us for the latest news affecting the Flathead Valley and Northwest Montana by listening to this podcast, posted every Friday afternoon. Join us again next week for another roundup of the stories that matter to you.